Hello, my name is Brandy, and today I'm going to show you how to do our September Take and Make kit, which is pirate inspired. We are going to do pirate hair beads or pirate beard beads. The supplies included in the kit that you can pick up from the library are thread, a wig clasp. This is for if you're doing hair beads. Or a little rubber band if you're doing a beard bead. We also have this, and actually it's for flossing your teeth, but it is helpful to thread beads through if you don't have a needle. We have little skulls. We have a little coin you can put on the end. We have some gems, roughly cut gems. We have some spacer beads, some little beads, and some bigger wooden beads. And these are all included in the kit at the library. You will also need some scissors. This is not included in the kit, but I highly suggest that you have at least something to cut with because you're going to have to trim your thread. Step 1 is to choose what you're going to do. If you're going to do your hair beads, you'll need this. If you're going to do your beard beads, you'll need this. And then you just tie the thread to it. If you're doing the hair, I would pick one of the little circles and just run your thread through and tie it off really good. And that's all you really need to do. And I'm not good, I think I've said it before, I'm not good at tying stuff, so just bear with me. And then you want to trim it up a little bit. Now, if you choose to do the beard beads, you just tie it around this rubber band. It's real simple. So that is step 1. Step 2 is to design and lay out your beads the way you want and how long you want it to be. If you're doing it in your hair, you can do it longer and to your hair length. If you have shorter hair, it'll be shorter. And of course, if you're doing it with your beard, it'll definitely be shorter. And even if you have long hair, your hair beads do not have to be as long as your hair. So I would, though, suggest laying everything out in the order in which you want it and to see kind of how long it is. I know that I want to end with this, and I think I want to start with that one. So then let's continue on. I think I want to end also with a little skull, so I'm going to put it down here. This is the hard part for me. That bead. I want that one. And you may need to make sure, sometimes when you buy these things, they don't always have holes all the way through. But this one does. And then I'm going to pull these. Out. I think that's what I'm going to do. End of step 2. Okay, a special note I would like to add is that when I was making, in step 2, when I was making my design, there's some things you will need to think about. The bigger beads that are wooden, they have bigger holes. So some of the small beads sometimes can fit in those holes, especially the round ones. So, in part of my design, what I was thinking of is that I need to make sure I don't put these tiny ones right next to these big ones because they'll swallow them. So I'm putting like the little rough cut gemstones or the spacer beads because they're smaller, and they'll make sure that they don't really get too caught up like they will in these and get swallowed. And even the little skull, it's got a small enough hole that these beads are not going to fall in it. So that is something to think about. Step 3 is to string. And I am going to talk about this piece in a second, but I will say that most of these things you can actually just string them. They have a big enough hole, but like the rough cut gems, they're a little harder. You can still do it, but they're a little harder to do, and you have to pay attention to the way the hole is and how it's angled to stick it the thread through. The hardest though will be the rocks or the gems and then the little bitty beads. Like I said, you can still do it, as you can see, because I'm doing it, but it's still difficult. So we included in the kit, and these are not expensive. They are, I call them floss for braces when you have braces, if you've had braces, which I have. You can buy them at Walmart. You can buy a pack of 50 for like $1 or something. But you put your thread through the big open hole. You want to make sure you pull it through enough, because it does come out quite easy. But so you have your thread through, and then you use it to thread like so, and just pull. And each time though, you're going to have to pay attention, because when you pull, you can start pulling the thread through this. But like I said, it's really easy to put your thread back through, because this is a big loop. So it's just kind of like an easy trick to help if you don't have a needle. But like I said, you can actually thread without this as well. Oops, see, it came off. But real easy to put back. These are the harder parts. And I would say, because these are a little harder, I would actually thread them all on this little line right here before I push them down, just because I find it to be easier. And these will be the hardest ones to fit over the doubled thread, but it's definitely doable. There's no problem. You just have to do a little pushing. See? And then there it is. And see, because I laid it out, it makes it easier. To go down and to do it the way you want to, the way you designed it. Okay, this is my last piece, and we're done. Now you can see when I made the design, it seemed longer, I'm sure, to everybody, because everything was kind of spread out more. And you want to make sure that you push this up and you make it tight. But if you do this and you're like, oh, it's not long enough, I want it to be longer, you can definitely take off some of the bottom beads and you can add 2. So it's not a big problem. You can take everything off and redo it if you don't like the way it looks, because it's way easy just to take them down and take them off. But if you like it, I like this, and you're ready, then you just need to tie this off. And I am going to kind of tie it around the thread behind this last little coin, but then I'm also going to try and make this tight. So that is kind of hard. So I'm pushing these beads up to make them tight, and I am taking this bead, this last little coin, I guess you'd say, and I'm trying to get it up as close as I can and make this as tight as I can. But as you can see, it's a little difficult. there we go. So I pulled it tight, and it is on the very end, and it is tight, and it is tied at least once. So now I'm going to do it again, and as I've mentioned before, I'm not great at tying, so just bear with me. However you want to tie it. I'm not that picky, but you may be more picky than me. So I've tied it a couple of times. I think I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to trim it. Oops. And if you're like me, you might actually do it a little too. Oh, I did. That's okay. Because I can just do this. If you have better scissors than me. There we go. And your pirate hair beads are done. Thank you for watching, and make sure to rock your pirate hair beads or beard beads on Talk Like a Pirate Day, September 19th.